I'm going to talk this morning about things that are meant to challenge your beliefs, your conditioning, and your perception of not only spirituality, the seen, the unseen, but humanity as you perceive it. I'm not trying to teach you anything. I'm not even actually sharing opinions. I'm challenging you today, trying to offer something hopefully thought-provoking. You know, I mentioned that I was at a planning meeting for the Women's March, and the lady in Santa Rosa who's putting that together, organizing it, is Leslie Graves, who happens to be the Wednesday night market manager in Santa Rosa. And Leslie has a son who had just turned 18, who works at the market. And I have a grandson who's 17, who also works at the market. These two young men don't always get along very well. And we've had some really, Leslie and I have shared a lot of humor about their not getting along real well. And I think the reason is they're both exactly alike. Tall, thin, silent, and carry around a lot of explosiveness deep inside, and it pops out every once in a while. So we were having a discussion about our young man, and she said, I was talking to my son, and she said he gets his social skills. Sometimes he just doesn't have a clue. He spends all of his life, and my grandson spends all of their lives. And she said, our society is evolving. And when she said that, I don't know if it's a duality experience or an out of conscious experience. I know I continued the conversation, but my thought process were totally somewhere else. And they have been ever since I started having these thoughts. I don't know, maybe there were some magic mushrooms in the omelet. Maybe. We are evolving. You know, we say it's the beginning of the Aquarian age. And I think it's time we evolve. Every one of us, every single one of us, has been conditioned to a vision or a perception of what society should be. We've been told that we are social creatures. We've all believed that. Is that necessarily true? I've stood right here at this podium and told you that joy, the greatest joy we can feel, experience, comes from our relationships with other human beings. And I believe that. But when you stop and think about it, yes, joy comes from our relationships with other human beings. But 90% of the misery and turmoil and chaos that we experience in our lives also comes from those relationships with other human beings. Every single one of us in this room has been conditioned since the day we were born that in our society, as a human being, whether we be male or female, our purpose is to become educated, well-rounded social individuals, find a spouse, have 2.5 children, a picket fence, 2 SUVs in the driveway, and a job that provides us financial, physical spiritual and physiological fulfillment, along with the 401ks and the great healthcare package, and live happily ever after. How many has that worked out well for? We've got one shaky hand up here. All we know about humanity is what we've been told. And all of us have been conditioned way beyond our realization. Could there be a different persuasion? Could there be a different purpose of humanity? Maybe we're in the very infancy of the evolution of this creature called human. Perhaps this technological evolution that's taking place now is what we're supposed to be going through. Maybe this social individuals hasn't worked out for humanity. For the last 10,000 years, in our social capacities, we've slaughtered each other. We've experienced so much pain. All of us have been conditioned to be selfish, greedy little people. We work at compassion and sharing, but I'll be happy to give as long as my cell phone bill is paid and the insurance is paid and the rent's paid and all that stuff. And if there's what if we're going to evolve to not necessarily be such social beings? I don't know. And part of the dichotomy, I'll call it, I don't know what the right word is, of this social interaction that humanity experiences, along with the good sides, it's got some very horrible downsides. It creates a terminal disease that has lasted lots longer than the plague or measles, chickenpox, AIDS, everything, polio. And that disease is hate. And hate is always fatal. When it reaches a certain stage, it becomes fatal. And I think that all of us, I was talking to somebody the other day and said, I just hate Christmas. And probably Christmas hasn't been one of my favorite times for a lot of different reasons. But I said, please don't hate Christmas. Ignore it, don't celebrate it. But there's enough hate in this world already, that hate energy. It is a disease, and we spread it. And it spreads rapidly. All of us are stuck where we're at. That's where we are. That's the reality, each one of us. And we're the product of all the conditioning, all the beliefs, all the experiences, all the teachings, all the ignoring of our entire life experience. So what do we do with that? That's something to ponder, folks. Question our beliefs. Question your conditioning that you've received in your life. There's no right answer. Nobody knows the right answer. But perhaps if you can transcend some of this chaos that's going on in our world, all around us, every day, spend a little more time meditating. pondering, thinking. We're in a social society. That's the fact. And each one of us contributes to that social society with everything we think, say, or do. And here again, it's all about awareness and understanding. Are you aware of the energy you send out as you talk with someone? As you're looking for the parking place? As you're sitting right here in these pews? Are you aware of the message you send by your actions, by your words? Our Christmas gift, the words of the Christ, love one another. Don't judge each other. Be kind to each other. That's the message. How can we show that love? How can we show our kindness? How can we harvest that joy that's available through our relationships? How can we help other people harvest that joy from their relationship with me or with you? We are evolving, and it's probably pretty well timed. Humanity has been, along with being able to love each other, been pretty crummy to each other for thousands of years. And maybe that's the long-term plan, I don't know. But everything evolves. And we can be a very positive and valuable, accepting and contributing part to that evolution. I ask that each of us think about your own humanity. What does that truly mean to you? The other night I was watching PBS, and I was watching a concert that Joan Baez gave pretty recently. She had gray hair. And she sang the song we're going to sing now, and she sang it a cappella. And that's probably one of the most powerful songs, the way she performed it, that I think I've ever heard her sing. Let's stand and think about our humanity and how we can maybe help it along as it evolves.